what is the power? What's if you have power, you should use it.
There we go. Now I'm live.
Decided to. So.
Technical difficulties.
Here, who is of course the manager of the Diablo.
Is that a, who's that?
Universe.
Universe.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
All things Diablo.
What's up, Tyler?
Nothing much. How you doing?
And of course we have
I'm watching the developer live stream for
Ryan Quinn.
Diablers. I'm gonna react to it.
We are
Diablo
actually
4?
starting off
Yeah.
with some Diablo.
You're not already live streaming, right? Like if I say something racist, you're not gonna get in trouble.
Mention.
No, I am already live streaming. They just started.
Okay, but no, I mean you.
Around and I called them.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay,
Right.
yeah, but don't say anything racist. Got it.
Janet Jackson, like
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Jackson.
For sure.
I'm older.
Right on.
Hey, look, man, it's not my
doing
thing.
it.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
I
I don't want to make a joke and then fucking have you find out 10 minutes later that you're not allowed to exist on Twitch anymore because I made a joke.
Disappointing.
Right.
He does have a really good impression of Britney Spears.
Are you gonna watch it too?
Oh,
I've got it in the
okay, maybe we can get
in the
that.
Discord.
I'll knot my shirt later. It'll be
How
great.
long?
Maybe we can get.
I don't know how long they're going.
Okay. Someone asked that question in.
Let me see.
Twitch chat. We'll make sure to bring that up during Q and A. And
Great.
there you go. You're just on the spot and you have to answer it. So
I think it's important that, like, last time you clarified what we were doing was the campfire, which is more of a casual, we're just kind of giving updates.
Carol, what
Just
you
wanted to
need?
talk to the community.
What you want,
This
buddy?
is more of a developer stream, so it's a bit more official.
yes.
But one of the things we wanted to recognize too is that, like, as a family of games, we always there's lots of cool
Should
stuff
work.
happening within in Diablo, and so we want to take. We don't always want to just be
'cause that's
focused
how I'm
on just
streaming to Twitch.
Anytime there's something big or really interesting happening within Diablo, we want to be able to talk.
Because
about it.
Diablo 4 takes way too much RAM.
Season 29.
I don't have enough on my
Three at some point.
computer to run both.
And so,
So I stream through Discord like a boss.
You know, we are definitely going to talk about season 1 on Diablo 4. And for some reason, Adam has structured this to be as tantric as possible. We'll get there, trust us, but it's going to take a minute. So, but what we
Yeah, it doesn't say how long it's going to be anywhere.
We want to talk about a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about what's the preseason before we go into season 1. We're going to talk about what's going on with D4 today because we actually have some news about today. Another tease, didn't mean that. And and then we want to talk a little bit about Diablo Immortal because something pretty incredible is happening in Diablo Immortal, which is in nearly a decade we're having our first new Diablo character class is being revealed, and we wanted to reveal it here on this stream. So, one of the great things about Blizzard is the SFD team, Story and Franchise, and Blizzard Video, and everything that they do around cinematics. And we thought, how could we introduce a new character class without having a kick-ass video to go with it? So, without further ado, may we present to you the new Diablo character class coming to Diablo Immortal.
What does it say? I am not online.
Wait, Diablo Immortal?
It's both Diablo Immortal and Diablo 4.
Humanity is right to fear it.
Huh.
The darkness wants to consume you and all you love.
Nope, vampire.
But my kind claim its power and wield it in defiance.
He had some kind of Blood Knight, which I'm down with.
Humanity is right to fear
Definitely
the
vampire
darkness.
red.
The Countess. We're all going to be the damn Countess.
The darkness fears me.
Okay, I am streaming live. Awesome.
Yeah, I turned
Oh, no, I meant on Twitch.
it. Yeah, I turned
Oh, for sure.
it. Vampire.
Oh, what is it called?
Blood Knight.
The Blood
I
Knight.
hate
Oh,
you.
damn.
I hate you.
There we have it. The
You
new
play these
So-
games too
coming
much.
to Diablo.
Well, hang on, I'm gonna pause it real quick.
It's
Um,
Blood Knight.
So there were rumors that it was gonna be like the Blood Bishop or something weird like that, and I was like, "No, it's gonna be the goddamn Blood Knight." I've been telling Devil for weeks.
A blog on diabloimmortal.com.
I hate
immediately
that.
after the
I hate that you
stream,
were just
so people can
spot
actually check it
on.
out. It'll be on YouTube.
It
along
makes
with all the
sense. I mean,
details that
obviously,
we're
they
about to
wouldn't
talk
call something a
about.
vampire. Like, if you wanted to guess the
We just like to
specifics,
get ahead
Blood
of
Knight would
ourselves,
probably
that's
be
all. But,
right.
Obviously, first
But,
new
like,
class to
Jesus
the
Christ,
Diablo
bro.
universe in nearly 10 years. I think there's a lot of
Alrighty.
questions in regards to like the story and so forth behind the Blood Knight. Ryan,
Called
give us
it.
a little bit of background regarding the Blood Knight itself.
Yeah, sure. So I think historically, when we released DI, we released it with these sort of 6 very, very familiar, very stalwart classes
I'm gonna have to play it again.
that many of us have been playing. for
Diablo Immortals.
And it's great to kind of indulge in that nostalgia. It's great to get that dopamine hit of playing a classic. But after 6 classes,
Oh, because I want to play
do
the
something
new content they added.
new and different. To do a supernatural class that's kind of monstrous.
What is this Kraft cheese ad on the bottom of my screen?
And the Demon
I
Hunters
know.
can't do. And so we're really, really stoked about the opportunity.
Hey,
to
USA
release
Is that embedded in theirs? Yeah, that's embedded in theirs. They can't do anything about it.
Obviously, everyone's kind of seeing the Blood Knight and they're thinking like, is this
As I
like
say, I don't think you're
vampiric
sponsored by
in
the
some
Air
sort of
Force.
way?
No, I'm not sponsored by the Air Force. I wish I was sponsored by some form of the military.
Right, so the
Cool.
fine details are
It'd get you
Blood
so
Knights
much.
and vampires
Of course, they're
are
sponsored by the Air
intertwined.
Force. They fucking
On
they give them
Sanctuary,
free programming.
vampires are kind of
programming
like
and shit.
living plagues. They go from hunting ground to hunting ground. They kill people, they bite people, and sometimes people who they've bitten, they suffer this monstrous transformation. They start to develop
I have what,
we call
8 followers? I'm nowhere near
beings, long teeth,
Air
hunger
Force
for
level
blood,
fucking.
all that stuff.
getting a sponsorship.
Is a person
Air Force.
who, through means
So I
of
was like, Air
intuition,
Force.
has
Then,
that
like, it occurred to me. I was
curse
like, hang
of
on a
fraud
second.
arrested in
Although when I get
essentially
like
in place. They get
enough followers to be looking for sponsorships, I'll probably approach all the branches.
The curse of turning into a
I am a veteran after all.
Well,
Oh.
their thraldom is essentially on
What?
pause.
Is
So
that how you're
basically
gonna
what
do
happens
it?
Is a blood knight,
Mm-hmm.
Veteran
can
after
be
all.
strong and fast,
All right.
can see in the dark, can smell
Oh,
blood
man.
from miles
If that's the
away,
case, just fucking
doesn't
use
age anymore,
mine.
as you've seen in the concept
I'm a
art, very, very
disabled
fancy.
veteran.
But on the flip side,
Technically, I'm disabled,
they
just not broken enough. Yeah, I've got keratoconus.
They have black
My eyes are all
You're a
fucked.
disabled American veteran.
No.
And maybe
Yeah, that's a, like you have a civilian
sort of more
disablement. I'm a
pivotal than that,
disabled
deep
American
inside
veteran.
their soul,
Uh,
there is
they did fuck my shoulder up, though.
a
That's
monstrous
true, but they
darkness
give you pills
that
for that.
hungers for violence.
Yeah. Random military tangent.
In order to slow their transformation,
They don't give me pills for that.
form
Don't
a
they? I thought they
ritual.
gave you the
Mm-mm.
ibuprofen because it's
Keepsake
tendonitis.
that you saw in
Nah,
all the cinematic characters' right hand. the little
Nah, I was a
thing.
reservist. They don't give me
That's
shit.
basically their lifeline.
Huh.
So like
Cool.
To their past.
yeah. It's got a memento within of the last place that they were kind of truly human.
Right.
And so every morning, noon, and night, they're doing
funny.
ablutions with this thing to hopefully continue to keep the darkness
Centrifuge
at bay. But,
constructs.
you know, it's a process.
Which one of those?
Right.
I'm
The
not doing
ritual, it's hearsay. You know, it's been passed down for hundreds of
that.
years.
Not doing the Oculus. I
And
never do
for
the Oculus. I
basically
pass
every
on it
blood
every
night,
week.
you
You know
know,
what it was? It was Oculus
may
yesterday.
fail
Still the
at some
Oculus.
point. All blood knights are doomed to one day succumb to their curse.
And they don't know if that's 1 day, 1 year, 1,000 years.
Could
They
be
don't know.
centuries,
Right,
right?
yeah.
They're very, very long lived. What they do know and what they pledge on is that they're going to use all of the time they have left to push back the darkness. And ultimately for them, since that is such an uncertain question, it's really about their inner
So what
sense
you
of
up to today?
balance. Can I do
Well, right now I'm doing this, and then I'm gonna apply some D4
will rise when
and apply at Blizzard
Yeah, I just wanted to
again.
give a shout out because we had the
I
art
thought you
there
had a friend that
earlier,
was gonna help
and
you.
that art is gorgeous.
Oh, no, I got a buddy that works there, but nah.
I'm like, oh, look, there's
I've just been applying over and over
if
again.
you were going to turn into a monster, you'd want to stop.
Well, it's funny because they're very like gorgeous. gorgeous here, and then they turn into the
Going for it,
abomination, which is really funny to see. So
Yep.
It's like a complete like opposite
Well,
of what it is.
I mean, you mentioned the
stopping you?
abomination. I think we saw into this creature during the. So what
I don't know.
is going on here? Like this is
On that front, I don't know. I mean, I've got that gap on my
an abomination comes to me, but this is basically
employment
them
record,
tapping
but
into what's inside them to
meh.
change form.
Yeah, they're letting the curse off the leash just a little
mean,
bit.
are they just not
It's
calling
gonna
you
grant
back for
them
an
extreme
interview?
power in the short
This
term.
is the Bruce Banner Hulk.
Nah,
Yeah, but maybe there's a little anime teardrop there. Of like,
which is fine. I expect as much. Like, I'm just getting out of school.
Well, I know with the Blood
Right.
Knight, obviously, like, it's new class.
so
How
you
does it
actually got
fit
your
Chris
degree
into the?
No, I haven't. I'm
the
like
gameplay
4
system?
classes from my
Playing
degree.
Blood Knight, what can you
Oh, okay.
expect?
Dope.
The style to be.
I was just given the advice that the persistence shows.
Yeah, so the Blood Knight is
Oh,
actually a
okay.
melee hybrid class, meaning there's tons of up-close combat with pole
So you're
arms.
just getting your
However, they have a
persistence in
host
now.
of shadow
Yeah, so I
creatures
apply to a few positions every couple of times. They email me about it.
field in their favor. I think the
Although they send me these fucking this algorithm they've got, I don't even know if it's a person. They didn't look at my resume, that's for sure. Because like they're sending me like lead positions, and I'm like, I can't do this, so I got to go to their website and then find a position I can do.
themselves in lengthy combat sequences.
Why don't you just
So like in
go
combat more
and do the
often,
raid,
close
take what they're
combat, so they're
offering,
essentially
you'll
taking more
learn.
damage, but then they have abilities themselves to actually
They're
essentially
offering you
drain,
a
as we can see,
position,
kind of
just
like
go.
life from others,
Take it.
essentially replenish their life. While they're
Nah, this algorithm's all kinds of fucked up.
The kebab attack, as I like to call it.
the skewer.
The skewer.
Oh
attack
man,
is my
they sent me
favorite
2 of
thing
them
right
in a
now.
week.
So what's happening there? We
Hey,
saw it in the
maybe-
trailer.
is
We
it
see
like a,
it
hey,
here
maybe
as
you'd
well,
be
where
interested in
basically
this
able to
blank?
stab an
Or is
enemy.
this
Well,
just
this
like
one actually,
Like,
this one's a game designer for Diablo Immortals,
Chris is like, yeah, that's basically it. That-
which I'd be down to work on.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
But it actually has a stun as well, right? It's
Take
not
it.
just the attack on the one thing that
Seems
you
like an
skewered.
easy
It
fit.
actually you can.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna apply to that later today.
So the Blood Knight stabs their polearm forward into the closest enemy, then swings overhead the enemy.
Cause look at this.
into the
This shit looks great.
everyone in a small AoE.
I really like Diablo Immortals.
Also,
I think it's a
there
great
are
game.
instances that let you lunge forward or actually leap
It'll probably be
to
easier
perform
since
the
it,
slam.
or like easier to
nice.
work on since
Yeah,
it's
it's
a mobile game
And
anyways.
then I know,
Right.
of course, with every
take
class
less,
in
give you more time
Immortal,
for-
they
or,
all
like, more
have
practice at the
different
very
ultimates
least.
depending on their primary attack skills and so forth. Like, what kind of 2 different ultimates?
I mean, I could technically program
Blood Knight?
Yeah, I could talk
this
a bit about
game.
the primary attacks. The first is Ravage.
Not probably from the ground up, but I could work on it with the skills I already have.
Ultimate, where they
Confidently.
combo with the stun at the end. And
Dual
the-
wielding pole arms. That's. I like.
You know, assuming they're using a
and the
a
other-
framework that I'm even remotely familiar with.
It's quite a unique.
They probably are.
First in Immortal, where the
Why don't you just
in melee
ask
range,
your buddy
the
to
Blood
ask
Knight will
around.
do a slash.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out in the next couple of weeks. Actually, gonna go do dinner or something.
Essences that add
just
damage over time or make the dagger
You know,
ricochet.
ask like he's your
Nice,
friend.
so you
At
can
like
essentially-
that you
Yeah, no, I've got some questions I want to ask him anyway, but I don't know if he'll know because he works in the cinematics department.
So if you got a ton of mobs in front of you, especially
It's not like they
if
never
the daggers are
communicate, they
ricocheting
have to.
And you mentioned
I don't know about that
you can essentially clear out whole
Look,
because I've asked him some things before, and he's been like,
you mentioned beforehand, tons of.
I don't talk to that team ever.
essences and-
He works in the Overwatch
modify skills
stuff.
I know,
Nice.
and
Like he's one of the guys at the last BlizzCon Overwatch panel.
Why would I want to become? What do I get from that?
Yeah, so I'll talk about
We actually went and stood in the because we were there. He told me that, he told us that they made him work the panels in order to go.
It happens much more often. And then
And I was like, oh, that's not bad. He's like, yeah, we got to work for like
a new
4 to 6 hours over the course of BlizzCon.
specific skills, a blood
my
rush
God.
where the Blood Knight
What a
So
white
like,
dashes
well,
ball.
it reframes it when you see like these people sitting on the panel and they're just like sitting there most of the time. It's like, oh, they have to be there to be at BlizzCon.
Nice.
Nice, that's awesome to see. I think with this update that's coming out on the 13th and the Blood Knight itself.
So are you
and
ready
there
for,
are, even other
ICC to come out?
components
Have you done your
and
Trial of the
that are
Champion
kind of
yet?
going to be coming with this actual update. Do you guys have any like additional information.
No, I haven't.
Ways to play it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the things that
I need to go do Uldor. I want to do it to get the set out of there. That was my goal for whatchamacallit. But I'm gonna be downloading it again here later today.
That Immortal has been. It's hard to believe it's already been a year. It's crazy.
Don't do Old
But
War.
so having new characters, but I've been like a whirlwind barbarian for.
No, I love Uldor.
And
I
loving
hated
that.
it.
And so now
I
I'm
hated
going
the
to
whole aesthetic of
obviously-
it.
Well, one of the great things about Immortal is that you can class change. Like, so I can take my Paragon 500 barbarian. I know that's not high. Thank you very much. I can take my Paragon
No,
500
seriously though,
barbarian.
like I
and
hated
turn it
the
into
whole
a Blood
aesthetic
Knight,
of
I
Old
guess.
War. Like
Because there's basically
everything
three ways.
about
We
it
have
just
the
annoyed the piss out of
Whoa,
me.
wait.
For a year like myself.
Oh yeah, there's that class
And we
change
have the
thing.
test driver, right? Is the
What
way to think
class
about that.
change
So
thing?
maybe you can go through that.
Yeah, totally. So if you're brand new to Immortal and have never played before, you can play the Blood Knight right out of the gate, create a new character
Oh, then I
completely
go do
free,
the footman thing.
and start with the main story complete with custom Blood Knight VO lines for all of the main quests. And for players like Rod, who have been playing for a while and want to convert to this class, I'm happy to say that we've made some major improvements to class
This
change.
is some bullshit.
Strength and intelligence will now convert properly.
I get
Huge
3 marks
request.
of the
I know.
Valiant, and
Huge
yet
request that a
I
lot of
only
people
get
are
one
asking for,
fucking
yes.
Yes, it's
Valiant
going to be
seal.
great. And also, players will be able to, during the event,
Oh, they fixed all the class changing stuff. Awesome.
one day cooldown, and also revert back infinitely. So if you decide you don't like playing the Blood Knight,
Whoa.
the day of, or if you want to try to
That's fucking huge.
change back to the Blood Knight.
So what they're saying is you can take your character and change it from,
For Immortal,
like, I rolled a Necromancer. I can change my Necromancer for pay, I'm assuming. Change my Necromancer into a Blood Knight. If I decide I hate the Blood Knight, the next day, if I choose to, I can pay again to change it back.
Inside of Immortal, where you're able to try out all of the skills and abilities and
That's
build towards
a
15
lot.
levels of defeating enemies just to.
That would
try
have
out
to be a
different
cheap
skills.
fucking
Basically
service
start
to
with a
get
fresh
anyone to use
class
that.
and-
Well, let me go see how much it is, because I still have Immortals downloaded on my phone.
Very specific gear. But if I wanted to go play Fractured Plains, it says, "Oh, you're a barbarian."
Like that's
Here's
just
some
a
random
lot
skills.
of money.
See how far you can get with this.
Yeah, let me
Build
see
up
how much
your
it is,
ability
though.
as
Money
you're
to
playing
make
through this roguelike
my-
experience,
Exactly.
And so now
Fucking
for
my
the Blood Knight
main,
introduction,
a
you've
class
created
that I
Crimson
may not
Flame,
like,
which is
and if I don't
a
like
version
it,
of the
I have
same
to pay
experience
more
to go and
money
test drive all the different
to
Blood Knight skills.
go back to what I
So
did
you'll be
like
able to try out
originally.
different skills and legendary essences.
That's a
Without
lot.
actually committing to changing to the class. So just try it out, see if you like it. And
Oh,
if you do,
wait.
there's always class change available.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. So we have,
What?
and we have. Other
I guess
things
there's like a
that are coming
trial
in this
thing that
actual
will
update.
allow you to use all of the abilities and whatnot.
For any new player that's coming in.
And aspects before,
beforehand, customize it, and it's completely free. And then, of course, any existing character can do class changes if they want, or they can create a new character if they would like to do it that way as well.
No, wait, he said free.
Legendary gem
Bring it
that's
back.
going to be coming in this actual update as well. And then we even
bring it back.
have just other like items associated with this specific patch that'll be hitting
Full
as
set
well.
of legendaries for the Blood
Exactly.
Knight too.
Yeah,
which is
and
great.
we're actually going to be listing out every single legendary
The blog, yeah.
that is available for the Blood Knight on our blog immediately after the stream. So you guys can check out the cinematic trailer that we
So
showed off
whoever
for
it
the
was,
Blood Knight
it was a
earlier,
machine, and it
on
called
that
me just
blog.
to
And
say,
of course,
"You're the
we have all
only person
details
here,"
about
and then
what's
hung up.
coming in this update that is hitting on the 13th of July. So soon. It's crazy. We do.
A machine just
we're
called to
super
tell
stoked.
me that
The
I am
cinematic
alone.
is amazing, by the way. I just want to
Why are you,
highlight.
for people who didn't get to see it in full frame rate, you're
No, I'm getting rewards for logging in.
Essentially, yeah, like
Go watch it
No, I want to go to
see-
the
see
shop.
it in-
Okay, claim the login
cinematic
bonus.
team, amazing team.
Paragon 151.
Nothing like
Good job.
seeing blood.
To the
splatter all over
shop.
Stained glass. It's Diablo. So, makes perfect sense. It's great. But we are super stoked. So yeah, July 13th is when it's going to be coming out, and then of course
Services.
DiabloImmortal.com immediately after the stream. We'll have a blog up there for people to check out. All the
Yeah,
details.
congratulations, guys, on the
Yep.
year. It's been an amazing year for Immortal. And I think people who maybe tried it at launch and haven't gone back to take a look at it, like basically every quarter we do major updates and really change the game. So the ability to craft set items, the ability to take your duplicate legendaries and turn that into a currency so that you can make your current legend, stronger, and the way that you do dungeons now, and the tower, the clan play, there's just so much else going on. So it's a free-to-play game. If you want to go check it out, just to see all the changes. Like I said, there's been in a year. It's complete. To me, it's a completely different game in the sense of the different ways that you can approach the content, which is exciting. But
figured out yet.
Hearing the fact that you fully recorded all VO for the Blood Knight for the campaign, I think it'll be exciting to go back and start over.
Yeah, it's about 2,000 lines in total. We've got a pair of...
Whoa. They recorded all the voice acting again for the Blood Knight, so you play over.
Pure
why wouldn't you just do that?
Lust and action all the way through. They've got some interesting takes on... I was going to say the name of the villain, our Act 3 villain in Darkwood. Some interesting perspectives there. But yeah, I don't think there's ever really been a better time to start a new...
So, Countess?
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much, and congratulations.
We're gonna go fight the Countess.
And
I
we're gonna
didn't
be
actually play
now switching
Diablo
over to
Immortal.
D4 content. We're actually gonna take like a
No, it doesn't matter. He said Act 3 villain, right? And then he said in Darkwood, and I'm like, well, then it's the Countess. Probably the Countess.
Swapping in into our Diablo 4 segment, so we'll see.
Diablo Immortal was really good. I enjoyed it. I played it for like 3 or 4 months.
Nice.
Yeah. What do we got now? Oh, this. Did you play Diablo 4?
I'm playing through it just slowly.
Okay. Take your time. Enjoy it.
I am.
Note the only things you want to do to that carry over are the Shrines of Lilith.
Yeah.
Just get those done before the season so you're all caught up, and then you can join us for the season. We'll carry you or play with you, assuming there's a room. We usually get quite a few people running with us at the beginning of a season.
Yeah. I remember last season for Diablo 3.
Yeah, right? We got Diablo 2 going too. I've got people running through for that. Yeah, I'm solidifying the Dead Rabbits as a Diablo clan.
May we fight true in his holy name. Blessed be the light.
This cutscene was amazing. Oh, the cutscene they've got going, it's from when you get to hell in the game. For Diablo 4. Because I believe they're gonna... Yeah. Oh man, they're all good. They're amazing. I gotta ask Stieg what he worked. I gotta ask Stieg what he worked on. I think he worked on this.
Turn to hell for you.
Is he like pictures and shit?
He does the cinematics. Primarily for Overwatch, I know. But he doesn't tell me a whole lot of stuff.
Hello, you're supposed to go, hello.
I mean,
That's
he
gonna be
can't.
my
But
intro for everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't ask him more than I probably,
We're
and
in other streams and other...
more than I would.
shut the hell up.
Oh,
You would
yeah,
ask him
Tim is
fucking
new.
everything.
Tim also has the
I would.
voice.
I would want to, but I wouldn't because, I wouldn't want to put him in that position.
Yeah.
Being in the HUA military, I understand what a security clearance
Maybe you
is.
should actually
I
introduce
know.
people.
Yes,
Or...
I will introduce
So, I don't want
we are
to...
now joined by our wonderful Diablo 4 developers. We have Tim.
I It probably makes me a pretty good friend because I don't ask too many questions.
I'm one of the lead producers on Diablo.
But he knows I'm a giant fan.
Seasons, I say that because if you ask me questions outside of the season context,
the fucking
I have
Grizzly
no idea what's going
Hills.
on.
Fucking kill me.
Wait, there's more than one season?
More than one season.
Yeah, there is more than one season. That's going to be we're reviewing.
Ice Crown
that.
Citadel doesn't really make any fucking
security.
Where they put it.
Yeah.
Wait, we're supposed to be thinking about
It should have gone where fucking Aldous are.
And
Aldous
we have
is.
a familiar face.
Joey P.
Yes.
Instead of where it's at.
I'm the associate
Yeah.
producer for the live
Stupid
service,
fucking
and
way
I'm
of
excited to talk
building.
about season 1
The
today.
whole backside of your house is exposed.
But first,
But first,
I don't know why they chose to march up the
built
front
everything
door.
possible to talk about.
They could have just blasted down the supports of his
Hang on.
house.
They're making an announcement.
But there are cool things to actually talk about.
Correct.
What are they talking about?
Obviously, it's been a little over a month since Diablo 4's launched.
It's only been a month.
Is it? Well, if you include
No, but you're right. It is.
Yeah,
Like, I always, the amount of feedback we get about, like, hey, this thing, and you're like, it's been like 5 weeks. Like,
Exactly.
give us a second.
Exactly.
So,
It has been a month, a little bit more than a month since Diablo 4 has
wait,
actually
how did you
launched.
guys get a season done in 4 weeks? That's incredible.
We started it well before the game launched.
Oh, that's smart.
We actually released it.
We're extremely good at our job. Wait, so you
I don't want to get in the
started
weeds,
before the
everybody.
game
I don't
launched?
want to get in the weeds, everybody, but like we did start before the game launched to make sure that we could actually release.
I thought you were just
something.
going to say zombies are really easy to make, and so they're.
Oh man, he's letting them know how the sausage is made. He just said they started the season before the game launched.
So, I don't know. If we'll fix that, I promise. Live broadcast, everyone.
Yeah, all those people that think that they developed the season in 4 weeks.
Screaming.
Just scream, everybody.
You haven't seen
So
Joey
interrupted. So
scream.
you're talking about the fact. I was just shocked.
Obviously, they started development on the season prior to the game launching.
Had numerous
Yeah.
updates to the game.
They have to have
fixes,
fucking content.
patches. We actually have
Right?
campfire chats.
Nah, they just fucking magicked up content in 4 to 6 weeks for the season.
Page.
Yes, 13 page. Which people are like, well, that must
Sure,
have
the
been
whole
like
fucking game takes
14.5.
4 years to build, but let's just go ahead and magic up an expansion in a
It was
week.
very big. It was like 11 pages.
Oh man, I got something.
I got you, buddy.
We
Okay, I'm gonna pause it real quick. I got something I've gotta fucking say. So, note, you said it took 4 years to develop this game, 4 or 5 years.
I mean, as a joke, I mean,
But yeah. It took 4 or 5 years. No, they didn't, because they took Diablo Immortal and the development they used for that, and they brought it forward for Diablo 4. It's pretty obvious if you look at like the basics of the systems. But at some point, the two teams split, and that was BlizzCon when they announced Diablo Immortals. It was super obvious, right?
Mhm.
And Diablo 4 probably at that point had been in pre-development, which means they had started fleshing out like an overarching story, maybe a couple classes, like what the game would be like, the open worldiness probably, and a few of the basic things. But it's so funny because Elder Scrolls 6 got announced the same year as Diablo 4. Or not Diablo 4, Diablo Immortals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Diablo 4 got announced the year after. But with Elder Scrolls 6's trailer announcement, they also announced that mobile game. And that mobile game that they did, that I can't even remember the name of, went over like a bump in the road. Like it wasn't that, it was okay. It was better than a lot of the mobile games I'd played up until that point, but left a lot to be desired. I'm actually going to jump back into it here in a couple weeks to see if it's gotten any better. Because, games as a service tend to get better over time. But the announcement that Bethesda made about Elder Scrolls 6 not being ready for another 5 years.
5?
5.
Oh my God. Sorry, I was doing something illicit.
Okay. 5 years, bro. 5 years till we get 6.
Oh my God.
And like I had said, I called it when they announced Diablo 4 the year after. I was like, we're gonna play Diablo 4 before we play Elder Scrolls 6. I called that shit. We actually got to play this before we got to play Starfield. Think about that. They developed all of Diablo 4, right? Because they developed that phone game, and then they realized from the feedback at that BlizzCon that they needed to step up and develop an actual
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4. And this isn't like they moved all hands on deck. No, they built a single team to do this. Because you can't pull people off of other projects. I'm not sure for Blizzard. I know how large a team is for some other companies.
Because, like, if they pulled a single team, but that team is like 60 people, it's a lot of fucking people.
It's probably near that. So it is a lot of people, but that's still like only 60 people out of the like 1,000 people they employ. Because I think Blizzard employed 1,000 people at their height, but like that's 1,000 people that run a company.
That is true. Yeah.
So like, how many are actually developers? Question mark.
Well,
but
I
yeah,
mean, like, I'm not like they do have marketing and accounting and all that kind of shit, and like I understand all that.
Because don't get it twisted, the entirety of the development team for Pokemon is 200 people.
Yeah, I'm just the
like,
thing is
like
that,
Game Freak is 200 people.
Like, I
but
hear
they don't do a lot of the other stuff.
All I think is like, oh, okay, cool. So it's a team of like 12 people maxed, because that's like that was always my teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you like take it to the grander scale of like, no, this is one of the largest video game corporations in the world. Their definition of team is probably a little different.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like a platoon.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a fucking.
Not a squad. Anyway, let's keep going with this.
Season 1. Season 1 is coming, and we actually have a really cool trailer to show off.
5 more years.
We jump into it. So,
ooh, we're getting a season 1 trailer. Ooh.
I am writing to you because although a great evil is receding from Sanctuary, a new festering
this is so cool.
Spreads its corruption across the land. More dangerous, more malignant than I could have imagined. I have found a way to stop this plague, to rip the dark power of these monsters from their very core.
Well, hang on.
And turn it to
They're doing a season trailer.
But I cannot do this alone. My allies have fallen. My strength is dwindling. The malignant are relentless and without mercy. I need help. I need you.
Season of the Malignant. Oh boy. 720. Oh.
And there we have it. The first season of Diablo 4 coming out on July 20th. The season of the
first season of Diablo 4 will be the 20th.
So we're actually going to jump into it. No, I'm just kidding. But obviously, a lot of people want to know what's going on. You know, we
level cap's 100
on social media yesterday, where
100.
Yeah, and 85 is halfway in terms of EXP.
I guess Tim, Joe,
yeah, no, okay. So
what's going on now?
So season 1, the season of the Malignant. So our very, very first season in the game is.
Well, you're not supposed. Yeah, I don't think. I think this is more like Diablo 2, where you don't have to get to the max level.
Happened and the player has finished redacting the redacted. Once all that's out of the way, that's when things are really going to kick off in the world of Sanctuary.
This guy, he says once the player finishes redacted.
Wait, can you rewind it?
Rewind the stream?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's fine.
Humans,
let's see. He's still talking.
Themselves, everything in between can be corrupted by this malignance as beginning to take root and fester inside the inside people. And it's basically kind of like it's changing them. right? It's turned into these bloodthirsty fiends. Effectively, they're going out and trying to destroy everything. And it's threatening Sanctuary at a very, very, very high level. The player's going to come across a new character that they're going to introduce to over the course of the season named Cormand, who we actually saw in the trailer there. Cormand is, yeah, there he is. Cormand is an ex-member of the Cathedral of Light. He used to be a priest of the Cathedral of Light. And he's taken it upon himself to start trying to dive deeper into this new malignant threat that's risen over the course of these days following the events of Diablo 4's main campaign. But he's finding himself maybe a little out of his depth. You say, Tim? Like, what do you think about Cormand?
Yeah, he's trying to fix the problem
two
on his
viewers.
own, and then I think when he's
Hello,
not 100%
viewers.
successful, he comes to the player and says, "Hey, you were really helpful in the past. Could I get a hand from you?" So that's kind of where things start.
Yeah, he's very. I think that he's a person. Everything in the room is on fire, but he's sitting there like, "I can fix it. You know, we can find a way to solve this, right?" But he's a great new character that the player get introduced over the course of the season. But that's really just where things kick off. You know, and players will start the season of Malignant actually in Kyovashad, and they're going to gain access to like the beginning of the story of the season pretty much right away. You know, so you're able to start off right at level 1, like jumping out of the gate and be able to start like following the thread of this new season storyline.
And we're going to talk about the transition from the current Eternal Realm into the season afterwards. We're going to get through the season information first.
Yeah.
Well, then when I know people are really curious about what happens to my current character, how do I think about that transition? But we'll get to that after we get through the season details.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So that's the kind of the high level, like what's happening.
No idea.
That's the theme, right?
That's the theme.
I looked it up earlier.
The seasonal story, but like, what about the mechanic? On top of the theme, there's usually the seasonal mechanics. So what's the mechanics that we're looking at?
We're trying to add more stuff to seasons that appeal to everything that a player does in Diablo 4. So we are adding story, the elements of what you're going to find out about what is actually happening to Sanctuary, but then we want things that are new challenges for the player, things that you can fight that maybe you haven't fought before, as well as new powers, things that you can build your character in a different way, a different direction than maybe you did in any previous season, or in this case in the preseason when you had just the Eternal Realm. So hitting all of those notes, we're starting with a mechanic around the threat. So what is the threat? The Malignant. We've been talking about it a lot. Where does the Malignant actually show up? That actually shows up throughout the entire game. When you're playing in the world of Sanctuary, anytime you encounter any elite monster, there's a chance that it will spawn as a malignant version of that monster. So that malignant version is going to have these growths on it and some additional power. After you kill it, a heart will actually appear, the exposed malignant heart that was causing this. If you then interact with that heart by using a cage,
Oh man, you need to make that more labeled.
Where it's pulling
that heart is not visible enough.
Even more powerful version of that elite is spawned.
Not after
Why would you want this? How does this help you? Well, if you manage to beat that even more powerful version, where you see these other minions are now helping it, these other malignant creatures, now it drops the caged heart. You've actually put all that malignant power into this cage that is an item that you can use that is kind of like a gem.
So I feel like, I'm going to say this right now, looking at this and knowing that they started development on season 1 before, I feel like they slightly underestimated how far players were going to get and how fast.
Yeah. But that's really just scaling up levels, right?
Yeah.
So like that's not like,
well,
they made this, but I don't think that this is going to be a problem.
Well, no, I'm not saying that this is going to be a problem, because right now players, I see it all over Reddit and shit. People want a harder difficulty because tier 4 is I guess not difficult enough, and the nightmare dungeons don't scale high enough, right? And it's like, well, maybe that's all in the season. Let's see.
Yes, you can take a malignant heart that you've managed to collect from one of the consumed that you managed to kill. One of these super malignant creatures that you've killed this way, and you can socket them into your gear. We have over 30. We have 32 new. I'm not gonna say like over 30. We have 32 new malignant powers.
You know exactly how many powers.
Technically, it's 32. So we have 32 new malignant powers are going out this way. These are new legendary power-like abilities. You can see this one here: critical strikes, electrically charged creatures for a set amount of damage. So these are like there's a lot of really powerful things like this that you'll be able to kind of like interact with over the course of time. But each of the malignant hearts you're collecting
Okay.
are actually like a category. They're associated with a color. So if like, brutal hearts, for example, or like have a blue color to them. And they'll only go in infested sockets you'll find on rings and jewelry during the season of the malignant of a matching color.
I see.
So when you're hunting for when you're finding new amulets and rings or gambling at the Opal's Venture,
Seasonal
whatever you wanna do,
sockets.
you're kind of looking for specific socket colors.
Or if you're getting a unique ring from the new Helltide chest rewards as you're playing from the one.
That's right. If you happen to luck out and get Mother's Embrace because you need another Mother's Embrace, then yes, you can absolutely.
One will never do.
Yeah,
But what's interesting, like with so there's 3 different types of color sockets, yes?
There's 3 different types of colored sockets, but there's 4 different types of malignant hearts.
Go on.
Well, okay, I guess I will. So the last malignant heart type is called basically a wrathful. It's like extremely powerful malignant heart type. They're very, very rare to find, but they will fit in any colored socket as you go. And you kind of want a combination.
You call it a
of all of them,
raffle
even though
and not prismatic?
You're really only looking to probably have like 1 or 2 of these based on what you might actually need for your build, over the course of time. So it's fun, like we really want to be able to experiment with, again, creating these different problems for players to solve, different ways for players to engage with things, and really change up that experience by virtue of adding these new powers. They're going to unlock different builds potentially for classes, to Tim's point, and just basically be like a really fun, exciting new way for players to kind of inject new power in the experience.
But you're looking for so
the
can the
player's
jeweler, when
ability
the
to
jeweler
cookie cutter
right now
shit.
can add a socket.
Oh, no, players a cookie cutter, but
Jewelry.
Yeah.
this gives the players that don't want a cookie cutter like me.
The color, but anytime a ring would roll with a socket when the season of malignant starts, it's always going to have a color associated
So
with it.
did
There's
Devil
not
play a
like
barbarian
you couldn't
again?
get like just a regular jewel
But
socket.
even
anymore.
a jeweler created one?
Yeah.
If I have a ring with no socket, when I do the jeweler, it'll be colored?
It'll always be colored. Yeah,
so
it'll
you
always
can
be
do
an
that,
infested socket in this way.
Got it.
Yeah.
But that's true for unique. So if I'm looking for a unique,
That's cool.
I have a unique ring like you talked about, but I want the blue version. I could find a unique with the red socket, and I could find it with a yellow socket. So I'm looking for blue. So
Yeah,
there'll
you might be able-
multiple versions of the uniques as well, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fun new stuff to look forward to, and that's just, we showed in the video earlier, like the player fighting a malignant creature. There's a chance for, as Tim pointed out, like there's a chance for all kinds of elites out there in the world to be malignant in nature,
Right.
which makes them a little bit more powerful. But then when you kill them and you go and you actually use the Cage of Binding to capture their heart, then you fight that super consume the consume version. It's like that's gonna be like buffing nearby monsters. It spawns a bigger combat in that
Right.
scene. There's more to look forward to, and those get tougher and tougher. And you want to fight higher and higher level versions of those in higher world tiers to get even better versions of those hearts.
Yeah, so you can get stronger versions of the hearts as you get further into the game, and you might be thinking like, okay, does that mean like the old, like the crappy hearts that I got earlier, are those useless? You can actually break those down at the crafter as well to get a crafting material out of them that allows you to craft new items, including invokers. So invokers are something that you can use a little bit further on once you finish the campaign of season 1. You will unlock the ability to go and use these at a specific place.
No, he's not talking about like the
So-
campaign
By
again.
the way,
trying to-
that's also the name of my colonoscopy.
Okay.
There we go.
He just
It's a
say?
serious thing when you're
He said, "That's the name of my colonoscopy."
That's what I thought I fucking heard.
Oh my god, that was amazing. Where's my Twitch app? I've got a marker. Oh man, let's keep
A
going.
world where the malignance is manifesting in these new dungeons. So if you specifically want to go find more malignant hearts, you can hunt down these tunnels.
Yep.
You can go in and hey, there are more malignant there. So there's a higher chance of finding malignant monsters
Like
there.
even everybody else on that panel right now
And I
is
really
just
want a
confused.
very specific type of malignant heart. How do I make that even more likely?
The malignant tunnel.
Crafted invoker, you go all the way to the end of a malignant tunnel, and you can use it on a malignant outgrowth. When you use it on that outgrowth, it now spawns that specific type of malignant that's going to have the color associated with it of the heart you're trying to find. You kill that, and you're going to get the specific heart. So there's a little bit more targeted farming you can do. As
I don't know. Let me see.
Of season 1.
Actually, have go to the C video. It will be able to show you the going into an evoker event where you can go in and sort of which I've heard called the turkey baster from hell, basically, is what an invoker looks like.
It does kind of, yes. I don't. That wasn't the art direction on it, but yeah, that's where we ended up.
So yeah, at the end of these malignant tunnels, you're going to find that there are these masses of malignants that you're going to be able to go and interact with, and each of the
That's the
tunnels
one I
has
wanna
a few different ones that can potentially spawn different colors of malignant outgrowths that can spawn from those. So it gives you those
Which one of these
opportunities
guys
to go
is your
and
buddy?
really target.
Oh, none of these guys.
Point out certain kinds of malignant hearts as the player's progressing through the experience. Yeah.
So when we show, like we were just showing it, you went,
Technical.
show the one you were just showing, because that was
Okay.
the invoker event. So basically, there's a growth. You get to the end of the tunnel. There's you're able to basically, essentially, you're requesting a monster of a particular color. Yes, you're saying like, I want a blue heart, a chance to get a blue heart by trying to defeat the blue monster. Yes,
That's right. And some of these, are, like particularly later on in the experience, like the most powerful hearts you can get are going to be delivered from things like these invoker encounters that we're going to go and interact with. So yeah, something we're very excited about.
So basically, they use an invoker on the one of the pods.
That's right. Yeah, the outgrowths from this malignant mass.
Which then creates a blue monster for you to fight. You have to take that down, which will then. So does this one go through the same mechanic where I have to kill it, try to capture heart to kill the harder thing?
When this thing pops up after you kill this one, you don't actually have to capture it. You're fighting the powerful version of it like immediately.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think they're showing us testing
So it's kind of a little like the sigil
footage.
Basically, I've got a bunch of stuff.
they are.
and they just keep resetting him to that same point.
Focus what malignant heart
I
want.
think
And
it's
maybe
a
my build, I
video
know I
is
want
what
a
it
brutal
is.
heart.
No, yeah, it's a video of
out there in the world.
the test
So now I
footage.
can go into a malignant tunnel,
Yeah.
fight my way to the end, have an opportunity to use the invoker to create a blue malignant to go after its heart. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Ryder's called it out.
But I think we were seeing it in the test engine
That's good.
He's like,
or the
everything you
IED
summarize into two sentences.
where they develop it at,
I know, like, obviously with the story and so forth, there are
as opposed to like
a new
the
bonus
client
and
game.
so forth
Yeah, there's
associated
new, but
with
we're
it.
not really.
Redacted, but yes.
It's worth calling out, yeah.
There's new
Yeah.
monsters for players to fight over the course of the season. There are new legendary items for players to collect this season.
Correct.
There's
Yes.
I too have consumed illicit substances, although they're legal in my state.
Unique legendaries and
They're legal in mine, too.
The unique.
But I don't know what the rules are.
I don't know what the rules are on
Seasonal realm, though, right? Are those
whichever platform on Twitch. Yeah, I'm on Twitch.
So yeah,
Exactly.
if you're a player who's like really trying to
I don't know what the
progress your
rules
character in the
are.
eternal realm, there
So
are
I'm
there's
just gonna
now a few
stick
new
with
items for you to go try to
illicit
hunt for
activities.
and use to kind of augment and change your build.
This is the moment where I can do the producer.
Ask whoever
thing
else is in your
Okay,
chat.
okay, yeah. So you probably saw before on
I don't
the
know.
screen when we looked at the cinematic was awesome, and we said
You talk to him in chat. Shit, I need people to talk to people in chat.
a little bit
Bruh, it's
earlier.
your
So just for
fucking
awareness,
chat.
so everyone knows. You're going to
What's
see the
up?
game patching on July 18th. That is
Dumbass.
all of the stuff coming to you that is going to turn on July 20th.
Balance changes, the new items.
Yeah. So July 18th is actually anything that shows up on the Eternal Realm is there right away. If you just want to continue playing the game as normal on your existing character.
Answer my question,
July 18th,
Tyler.
legendaries and uniques that they were just talking about.
In
those are
chat.
available to you on the Eternal Realm, as well as any other improvements, balance changes, rewards changes that we've made. Those will be there right away on July 18th. July 20th, the season turns on. You can now create seasonal characters.
I think it's like going back to managing expectations. I think one of the things we've been trying to be really clear about with seasons
Wait,
is
hang
that
on. So then
it
does
is
that
not a
second
continuation
person
of the
mean that it's
main
you?
campaign story.
No, that's not me. That's I'm in the stream manager on my phone.
Working with
Oh, so
Quammen
that's
to
JJ.
solve the malignant is a big.
No.
obviously
I don't know who that other person is.
An area of Solo's
no.
journey. It's not extending that story. It's sort of a
Like,
side
it can't-
story
Job guy.
inside the open.
From my phone anyway, I can't see who's all in the chat, so it could be Devil for all I know.
Which is great. It just
Well,
gives us a
I
lot
just
of, like,
stained
it
my
forces a lot of
desk with
opportunities.
alcohol.
It might be Greg because he's following me now.
That's supported.
So as I'm playing that now, it would be amazing if
See
there was
him
some
on
way to
there.
Sort of track my accomplishments through the season. I don't know, maybe some sort of journey, perhaps.
you
would
want
be
track.
really,
You want track your seasonal
My only
journey.
question so far is there a
I don't know if I could tee that up any higher for you.
Like, is
We
there a
went from
way to
golf
convert
to
Yeah, we'll
colors?
go to T-ball really
yeah,
fast. Yeah.
yeah.
Like they say
Right.
there's a way to
Yeah, no,
farm
absolutely. So there
specific
is-
ones, but is
this
there a way to
obviously with
convert
season
ones
one,
that you
we're gonna
have?
bring out
Because
the season
otherwise,
journey
I'm just
feature,
not
which
going
I
to
know we talked
interact
a little
with
bit
the
about on
ones
stream
that
before,
I
but
don't need.
I guess it's worth maybe
I
calling
don't need
out
red
and
ones. I just
bringing a
won't
little bit
fight
more
them.
clarity.
Hey,
Walk
look,
away.
it's
Right.
If I have no way to
this, but
convert,
without redacted.
I have no reason to even interact.
That's right.
Oh.
So this is yeah.
What are we talking about? He said redacted again.
This is the battle pass introducing as part of season 1, and then going into here you'll see the season journey. And again, so the season journey is separated into 7 chapters. You know, and
Okay.
like these
Got
major
7
Each
chapters.
of those chapters has a number of objectives inside each of them in order to allow you to progress that chapter.
And you don't have to do all of them?
You don't have to do all of them. You have to do a subset of them in order to advance to the next chapter.
Oh, cool.
I think it's really
Complete 7 of 9.
You're going to be earning favor drops, which can be used to fuel your battle pass, which we'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. But you're also
So, like, they're looking at the season journey.
drops of that favor.
So you have to do 7 of 9 to complete the first step.
But you're also going to be getting some.
And then they'll give you more on the next step.
Importantly, you're going to be unlocking new legendary aspects, ones that you can't normally get through the Codex of Power, through like dungeon completion, and also many of our new
Diablo 4
aspects
season.
we're adding in the season. If you're playing in the seasonal realm,
This is season journey, like Diablo 3's.
Power, like going through
Oh,
the season
okay.
journey.
Well, this is the
Right.
battle pass. It's attached to the battle pass.
Kind of playing through.
Yeah, I love this. Like
You don't have to pay for it. There's a good amount of free
Diablo
stuff.
3 and its sort of journey.
Hold on, wait. Do you love this?
I love this.
Oh, that actually feels really good to hear.
I love this. The notion around like,
But I think it's like $10
I
bucks.
like the fact that the subset aspect of it because I know there are
So
certain
then
things.
you do have to pay
I'll pick
for
a stupid example. Like maybe I hate sellers for
No.
some reason. I'm a seller.
There's a
hater,
premium
and so
version.
I never
Well,
want to complete a seller.
it's like a regular battle pass.
Advance chapter 1 to go to chapter 2 without ever doing what lurks below. I think that's
But
great
you
because
have
that's
to
like I
pay
find you get
for
in
it in order
situations.
to
I have
join
other
the
games
season.
where they're like, you must do this thing that you really.
No. So, like, the season happens and everybody can participate, but you can pay and you will get better rewards.
Now, are those rewards cosmetic, or they
Yes.
actually help you? In
They're
the game?
all cosmetics. None of them are supposed to be able to help you in the game.
Oh,
Like,
fun.
if you look at this chapter reward here, like, this stuff is all free.
Okay.
The splash that was behind this, that I hope they go back to so I can stop it and look at the stuff that's there.
Well, with the season journey, and I think you're going to call it out in some other places, that
Ah.
it can be confusing to players initially that you go to this battle pass screen, you click on the season journey button. Do I have to buy the battle pass to get this?
Nope, here we go.
Everyone has access to the season journey. This is a base feature that everybody is engaging with. Actually, everybody has access to the battle pass too. You're engaging with, even if you never pay a cent, you are engaging with the battle pass. You're getting
In
free
the
stuff.
seasonal realm.
In the seasonal realm,
Yes, in the
Ron has
seasonal.
always reminded me, saying, like, in the seasonal realm, this stuff exists. There is no season journey if you're not in the season. That's very important. It only exists there. There's no battle pass if you're not in the season.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So yeah, that's the essentially the way the season journey works. Those final objectives, those final chapters are really tough to
Okay.
complete. You can get some like special.
It's just like Diablo Ladder's always been. There's seasonal ruin words.
So
The season is the malignant system. That's the ruin words for this season.
We saw that the season journey grants you a lot of favor to go
Yeah.
towards your battle pass, but you also earn favor just out in the world killing stuff. And
That's right. Anything that's like killing monsters, completing like whispers and dungeons and things like all of these things will be earning you favor as you kind of play through the season.
Right.
So anything that's getting you experience points.
Oh,
you
here we
get,
go.
that favor as well.
So if you
Yeah, see, it looks like every so the second reward, the fifth reward, the eighth, they're labeled. I'm stupid. The eighth reward
Yeah, I couldn't tell what you were counting for.
is free, yeah. And then this is the transmog that you'll get.
Okay.
You will
But
be
what's-
earning favor
And,
as you're
so
killing
like
monsters
all
and
that
doing
shit
things during
there
the
that's
campaign.
not free, that's all
But a
just
lot of those- and you
cosmetics.
can also progress.
Yeah, everything down here that's not is just cosmetics.
But like aren't those potions and shit?
Until after you finish the events of the Diablo 4 main campaign.
and that's probably one of the big things to be clear.
I don't know, it depends on what the
We're gonna
potion does.
Transition later, but
Yeah,
in
I
terms
guess.
of getting access to the mechanic, the idea of talking to Corman, capturing malignant hearts, having range,
Like if it's free potions that you can already make
that stuff
that aren't very good, you know, like the ones they were giving out at the beginning of Wrath,
The campaign yet, you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
learning these seasonal mechanics.
then who's gonna give a?
Yeah, you won't fight malignant creatures, for example, while you're going.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that are gonna give a fuck, but I won't personally be bothered by it.
Some key keep saying we're going to talk about this,
Right.
and then we talk about it anyway. But like, so I would say, like, you know, one of the things you can do to get ready for the season is to make sure you finish your campaign playthrough.
I don't know, man.
Diablo
I
4,
liked those
jump in, you can
potions.
choose to
Those
skip
things were
campaign
dope.
when you make your new seasonal character,
Right.
and dive right into the seasonal story
I
and
got
content. I mean,
all
And
kinds
that's
of shit
forever
done
more.
with
That's
those
one thing
potions.
we've tried to say is that once you complete the
Oh yeah,
campaign,
potions are.
one character on your
yeah,
account
one character, one
for every
time.
season moving forward. For any character you create moving forward, you can skip campaign and start off in Kyovashad level 1 off. Well,
Oh, I can
and
drag
you
the
know,
Not always
spirit
Kyovashad,
bombs.
but yes.
Damn.
Is that the
Foreshadowing.
only thing that we can be doing to prepare
well,
for
we should get
season
to
one?
Let's get to the-
we should get to the battle pass. So the favor. So you have favor flowing because you're playing the game.
You're playing the game because you're doing your season journey objectives. You're getting even
and
more
I
of
was gonna
it.
say you're getting more, and the favor is really flowing.
Man, this guy was like, "Is that the only thing?" And then they started talking about not what he wanted them to talk about.
Whether you've chosen to just have the free battle pass or whether you've chosen to upgrade it to a premium battle pass, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
So what, can we go back to the screen? Because I think it's one of the things. What we highlight here is part of the thing is kind of a, you know, we use the term, why would I want to complete the battle pass? One of the reasons you would want to complete the battle pass is you could look like this.
Yeah.
And by completing the battle pass in terms of the mount armor, the armor that the characters are wearing. And so did you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
kind of
I
the stuff?
mean, one of the things that's really cool about a lot of the items in the battle pass, there are these really exciting like armors to chase for the characters.
Looking horse.
There are like
That is a dope looking horse.
for different classes, and we have even things like the like.
And based on the way they've priced things, that horse is worth the whole of the battle pass.
One of our free cosmetics actually is this. The
Goddamn.
things are like a little bit lower fantasy that we can use to kind of like role play different kinds.
Like, you're gonna get a lot of stuff out of this battle pass.
And we have like our bigger stuff like this. Like this is like
There's 100 tiers, it looks like,
stuff is,
because he's at tier 89.
Real chase armor cosmetics exist at the end of the battle pass.
It's one of the things that, like, if you notice either the role-playing armor, like the artisan tunic, or the helmet.
That is a cool
one of the big
horse.
things about the battle pass is that, unlike the shop, the battle pass, all of the cosmetics are class agnostic. So we have a preview for all 5 classes, so you can see what it looks like on a barbarian, what it looks like on a druid, what it looks like on a necromancer, and those sorts of things. And that's
Oh,
one of the
that's
nice
cool.
things about the battle pass is everything you're earning on the battle pass, class agnostic.
Yeah, for those transmogs.
The exception is the transmog weapons. There are transmog weapons on there that are class specific, just because classes
Classes can
equip
only use
certain
specific,
weapons.
yeah.
So if your class can equip that weapon, then you have access to it. Just to reinforce, I think it was already expressed, but there are lots of free things on the battle pass. If you pay to upgrade it to the premium battle pass, what you're getting access to are a bunch of additional cosmetic things.
Yeah.
So the only thing you're getting access to by paying is that additional cosmetic unlock. So there's really, really cool stuff, some on the early end, and then especially on the tail end of it, that's what you're buying into. But the free version,
Keep going. I'm getting ready to transition.
okay, the free version
I know where I want to go after you.
still has some very cool unlocks, and anything related to, well, you wanted to talk more about blessings, right?
Well, that's what the saying with the free side. Like, so we were saying there's 27 free tiers in the battle pass, and part of those 27 free tiers are smoldering ashes that you can get based on the level you are in the game and that you've progressed with favor.
Okay, so almost a third are free.
So these smoldering ashes the player will collect in the battle pass are, as you called out, like they're on the free track of the battle pass. You need to be you have a character of a certain level in order to be able to actually use them. So they're kind of like, they're rate limited that way. We'll take those and you'll be able to use those and apply them to the seasonal blessings system.
Right.
And here, okay, we can actually finally reveal all of these. So here are the places where, as the player's collecting these ashes, they can invest them here to give all of their characters on the seasonal realm kind of like this advantage able to carry through. So whether that is like, bonus to like XP earned from monster kills, like we call out here, or things like boosting the duration of all elixirs that you're using over the course of the season.
Right. And
Oh,
it looks
man.
like, I'm assuming that, I don't know if it's linear or not, but if I would assume it was linear, I can do it 4 times at 15%, so like 60% duration on elixirs, in terms of that particular, the earn or prolonging.
That's right. Yeah, we want to make this just be an extra little fun little thing for players to chase as they're going through the season to kind of, help them like boost their characters a little bit more quickly as they kind of get deeper.
This is the Paragon board
and give them a
from Diablo 3 reimagined.
playing through.
So if I were to max out with my smoldering ashes, they're like
That one page
where I
that's
wanna
like
max my smoldering ashes,
increase
I could
gold
basically
drop.
take a 30-minute elixir and make it almost a 50-minute elixir. So getting that 5% XP boost, maybe.
Yeah, that
for
was
me,
kind of
it's
the worst
extra 200
because
thorns and
gold
then 200
was
armor.
nothing.
Yeah, gold didn't matter, so that was just a wasted thing. But it matters in this. I like what they did with it.
Drops that can occur for you.
expansion
What
point.
did
And these are available to everyone.
Well, on the higher end, when you start re-rolling stuff, it's super expensive. So like you go through gold like it's going out of style.
They're also limited based on level.
It's also like 9 million gold to respec your character completely.
Even
At
though
100.
there's a tier that says free
You unlock
smaller
the ash,
dashes,
it might require-
it doesn't actually unlock.
Which in my opinion is fine.
Yeah, for like for example, like the first ash that you unlock in the battle pass is I think it's tier 8 maybe.
Tier 8,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it has a level 40 character requirement as an example. Just to make it really, really clear, like you will be able to use this in time, but immediately like you need to continue to progress your character and like, continue to level up, and then you'll be able to use that accordingly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can kind of do my little summary thing. So basically, the way what we said, so we have a seasonal theme of the malignant, which has the mechanic of capturing malignant hearts and putting it into jewelry. We use that to complete our season's journey. Our season journey is rewarding us favor. Our favor, we're then putting into the battle pass to get really cool cosmetics and transmogs, but also based on our level and our tier in the battle pass, we'll get smoldering ashes. We can use those smoldering ashes to apply a season's blessing, which allows us to use those urns and get sort of perks for during just this season that we've unlocked.
That's correct.
So the free person's experience, if you never want to pay a cent, you are still getting a lot of power out of the season journey and the free aspect, the free unlocks on the battle pass. So this is kind of an increase in power for everybody. And then if you want to spend money, just reinforcing that, that's unlocking more cosmetics.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like they're amazing cosmetics. I am planning to pay to unlock them myself, but there's no power that comes from them. They are transmogs.
get 'em
They
for
are not
free,
actual
dumb
items.
bitch.
It's just
No, they have to pay for everything. Or no, they
don't
do.
actually cause things to
They
look
do. Or they get
talked about before.
they can pay for it with part of their paycheck,
Anything that
like before they get paid,
items are going to be
as like perks. Like I guess you can take a pay cut
And if you bought
of
the Ultimate Edition,
I don't remember how much. It's less than you'd have to pay if you were to pay for it, but you get WoW for a year at a time.
The transitional side of it,
Yeah.
in terms
Or
of
what amounts to like
go into this or what happens. So there's a couple of different things. There's like
Sign me up. I'll be a janitor.
one is like there's a
Right?
need- so there's a question. I guess we should talk about renown. Like one of the big things that we hear the most about is
like oh they take a quarter an hour out of my paycheck so I can play WoW.
Objectives. I've got full everything.
So I can.
And now
play
I
WoW
hear,
for free.
oh, I
Let's
have to
do
reroll
this.
my character in season.
Yeah, right.
Do I have to go find all the altars of Lilith? Do I have to go all clear the fog of war again?
Yeah. So I know we've talked about this in stream before, but it definitely bears repeating. So like when
Not exactly sure on all the perks, but there are some pretty good
we're
ones.
going to be able to go basically carry.
But they do have to pay for
like,
stuff.
All of the fog of war that they've cleared, so everything, all the world they've explored on their characters in each of the zones, like the Fractured Peaks and Scotsland and such. All of that's going to carry over, as well as all of the renown you have earned from all of that, all of the
So
exploration.
can we
that
bring
you've
up
done.
the screen? So
Yeah,
basically where we see areas discovered,
Yeah.
let's say I've actually, okay, we'll say this is this person.
Yeah.
So right now they've got 30 areas discovered, which is worth 150 renown.
Right.
So what's going to happen is in the season, I'm going to have 30 areas clear inside of Kyrgyzstan, and I will have 150 renown already in the bank. And it will have unlocked whatever 150 renown will have unlocked. on that
Absolutely right.
thing.
Yep, absolutely right. So you're gonna have that, and you're also gonna have already collected all of your altars of Lilith that you've got from your
So
account as
the
well.
same thing here. So I will have 12 will be appearing on my map immediately, and I will have 120 renown in the bank with my other 100. So I'll have 270 renown already earned, waiting for me to claim when I fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. So these are the advantages you get to start with, and like if you look at like all the renown you can collect from from discovering all of the areas and from getting all of your altars of Lilith, it's going to get you in each of the zones, basically through the first two tiers, a little with the way through the third tier
Right.
for each of the zones for renown. So you get to start with like if you start at level 1 on day 1 of the new season with a brand new character,
Yeah.
and you've done all of this work with your previous characters and previous playthroughs, you'll have 5 skill points to play with, and then 5 extra potion charges. So you'll be sitting at 9 potion charges.
At
right
level
away.
1, you'll have 5 skill points and 9 potions ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're good to go for the season.
And your map reveal.
And your map.
And your
reveal.
map reveal.
So that goes back to what Tim
Ooh,
was
yeah,
saying.
and the map reveal. I was worried about that one.
Hey, I'm excited about the season. I want to prepare for it. I've got, what is it? It's the 6th today?
Today's the 6th. Yes.
So I have 14 days.
14
I have
days.
2 weeks. What should I be doing in these next 2 weeks? And so one was I better get the campaign done because I really want to
complete the campaign.
fight the malignant. But now, like if you had places to go to, like dig deep on clearing the fog and dig deep on finding the altars, because those are going to carry into the season.
Yeah, all that stuff will carry over with you.
Okay, so then Tim, how do I think about? I've got 5, 6 alts. My characters right now in the Eternal Realm. We're talking about carrying over progress based on your. How do I ensure that the progress, like the most progress character, it actually impacts my seasonal character? Like,
Tim, tell us.
Tim, tell us.
For various technical implementation reasons, we do actually need you to plug in on existing characters to kind of self-migrate some of your data with this. So this is something that we implemented based on player feedback that we got. So we put it in as quickly as we could. It is in for season 1, but what we need you to do, once season 1 comes out, actually once the patch comes out, you don't even have to wait until July 20th. You can do this on July 18th, which is when the patch goes live. You should log in with characters that have the most progress. If you have a single character you played, or if you have one character that, hey, on this one character I unlocked all the altars and cleared all the fog of war, awesome. You just have to log in with that person. When you log in with that character, all of that progress is going to be propagated across your entire account. It'll be saved as, hey, this is just unlocked for your whole account now. At that point, any character you log on.
Oh, cool. I have that already done on my hardcore.
Making seasons will now have all of that progress. So you have to do it once, but after you've done that, it is now saved to your account. And just to reinforce, the experience you're going to have if you have unlocked all of these things, it takes a little bit of work, but if you've unlocked all of that, when you start that new seasonal character, wow, is that a lot of power. You are going to level pretty fast.
Oh, yeah, it is.
5 skill points, extra 5 potions. You are ridiculously overpowered when you first start playing. Like, that is a lot of extra power.
It will accelerate you a little bit as you start.
And because that is a big caveat, like we will be reminding everyone. I'm going to be like literally screaming it from the rooftops. I know we will be posting it in our patch notes on that come out for the patch on the 18th, just to remind people that yes, log into your characters beforehand. Even if you log in, like if you jump into the season later on, you can log into those characters with the most amount of progress.
Well, that's
forth.
that's the two things we should, because there'll probably be questions. But one is, I don't do that for whatever. I go on vacation. I'm not playing. I come back. The season started. I can still log in my Eternal Realm character and have all that progress brought to the season. Yes. Even after the season started. So it's not like, oh, you only have 18 to 20 to get it those 2 days.
It's there forever. Functionally, from this point forward, anything in on a character, it will
the server has to take a snapshot of the flags off of the character.
Right. And so and that's for the seasonal. So if I think about the Eternal Realm, like for example, my Necromancer.
So like they hadn't intended for you to bring the map and the shrines forward, right? And from a development standpoint, those are flags on your character. Like when you go click on a Shrine of Lilith, on the back end, it's just checking a box or changing a variable, right? So what you need to log in on that character is so that the server can grab that data, because the server doesn't usually care about that data. It's saved on your client side.
Okay.
Anyway, or it has no way to pull that data up unless you bring up the character because of the way that the account security works. It might be the second one. Anyway, so when you log on to the character, the server goes and does its checks and then grabs that info off of your character sheet that says that you've done 75 of the altars and have completed 96% of the map, except that one zone you can't fucking find somewhere. And then it'll be like, cool, you've done this, this, and this. I'll remember that forever. As opposed to like...
You having a problem over there, big boy?
And I think the point that Tim was trying to make was...
Why?
I mean, you seem very particular about this place you can't
we had
find.
actually talked about that you wouldn't have any renowned progress carry.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple that were a giant pain in the ass
you
to
would
find.
have to go clear the fog of war. Like, the original plan...
Which is why I'm super happy.
Launching the game, or prior to launching the game, the original plan that was that there was...
Oh, he's going to explain what I just did.
Transition of state from Eternal Realm to Seasonal Realm as part of this. And so hearing the player feedback as we talked about seasons and hearing the response that we got about what, I have to find all the altars again, what, I have to clear the map again, and wanting to make sure that we were listening to the players, we put in a system that allowed us to do that, but is not the most smoothest, most sophisticated because we were doing it under very tight time constraints as quickly as possible.
Hey, did you want it done? Did you want it done?
It's
The answer is
I'm
yes.
just
you want it
saying.
done.
I'm just saying. Like that wasn't the design from the start was not to do this log in a character on the 18th.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's what we had to do to make it happen for season 1.
And this was based off of, obviously player feedback that we've gotten since launch. So this is us implementing it quickly to address, the feedback that you guys have been giving. And then on top of that, I like a huge shout out to our engineers for getting this all implemented before we actually jump into the season.
Much like the Nightmare Dungeon teleport,
Exactly.
like miracles can happen and very quickly. So
A lot of these actually end up with us going to an engineer and asking how long it would take to do it, and the first answer is to do it right.
First answer is they
very big
cry.
number.
Yeah.
And then there's like, okay, well, what about to make it work right now? And always, if you told me you wanted to do this X months ago, I could have done it way easier because we implemented it completely differently. So yeah, we make it work, but sometimes the fact that you have to log in to get the progress propagated, we would have made it a smoother version if we knew months ago.
All right, look, all right, like zoom in on me. Zoom in on me. Let's do that. Okay, it's not going to happen. There it is. Okay, yeah, all right. It's a live game. We know we need to it's a live game. We know we are looking
These
at
guys fucking
trying to make
okay.
improvements based on
Seem like they're
players,
struggling.
playing the game ourselves. We're kind of seeing how everything is really feeling as it's all.
It is a small indie game company. Remember that.
We want to make sure that we are making the right
Right.
changes as quickly as we can for the community. Some of those things are a lot harder than others.
I don't
But like
think I
all the
can.
feedback,
Let's
like
do this.
Adam, you called out some things really early on at the program. Like we're hearing feedback about
I
this
cannot.
and this, and like inventory space. We talked about gems last time and things we want to do there. We're trying to move very quickly in a lot of these things. Some of them are a lot more challenging technically to do than others. But we are rapidly moving on as many changes as we can because we are fervently trying to make the very best version of Diablo 4 possible in the fastest time frame that we can to deliver to the player base, because we're players too. We also want the same things. So just know that we're working hard. We care deeply. We love our engineers and our designers and our producers and the staff been helping with all the hotfix and everything else. We are trying to make sure that we are delivering a really, really high quality experience to players on a regular basis. So just stick with us. Keep giving us that feedback. We're going to keep making adjustments as we go between seasons and other updates.
I can attest that whenever Joe would like to make a change based on feedback he's seen from reading it wherever he reads it, the first version is always, can we do this immediately? That is always the first request. Never like, hey, let's get this in eventually. When it makes sense and when it's comfortable. No, it's always, could we do this right now? Is it possible for us to do this right now?
Well, that's-
I want to move the Overton window where I just expect everything to be done in 6 seconds.
But this is the thing about about doing it safely. I think one of the sort of the junior mistakes some people can make is this idea of time is only what it takes to implement, and it's not. It's time is also what it takes to test and make sure that it's robust and stable. And so that's one of the things that when you look at we have a follow the sun QA organization around the world, and that's what allows us to do, I don't know, we're what to 15, 16 hot fixes or more now.
Yeah.
And our big client patches is that ability is not only can we get we have some heroic engineers who can turn
There's
stuff around very
one guy
quickly,
with
but
a
we're also have
Diablo
some
4 cert on
heroic
right now.
QA teams around the world who are helping us make sure that when we make these changes, we're doing it
Right.
the same way. So
Everybody
but
else,
appreciate
man.
it.
One day I'll be on this panel showing off my Diablo 4 tattoo.
Yeah, it's finally here.
Right.
I'm waiting to reveal this for a
in 2
long
weeks?
time.
In 2 weeks, and again, like Tim
It's
had
not
mentioned,
technically here for you all, but soon, very soon.
as Tim had mentioned, we will have a patch on the 18th for Diablo 4 that will contain all the changes that will be coming in with Season 1.
Yep.
If Tiffany Watt were here, who was on our campfire chat before,
Yep.
she categorized our 103 patch as chonky.
Right.
I will categorize in Tiffany Watt's words
The technical
as
term, yeah.
super chonky for Season 1. It actually is our largest, or chonkster, as Tim called it. I think we were chonkers. So we're going to pull up the Wikipedia entry and actually go through it, the history of chonkers. But yeah, it is very big. So we will have notes up for that. And again, players can prepare for Season 1 by
Oh, this is like this mega patch that they're coming up with.
making
Clear
sure,
fog of war.
clear fog of war, discover the map, and of course, get all your altars. So lots to come for Diablo 4. And then again, we also have just more improvements that will be in that patch. What our balance changes to bug fixes to you name it. I can go on. There's even some reward changes coming for some Nightmare and Helltide related activities as well, some endgame activities, because I've been hearing some feedback regarding like, hey, it would be great if we can get like maybe better rewards with some of these activities, and so I know some of those changes are coming in that actual update as well. But I know we want to do Q&A.
We do.
Yeah.
And this is a live stream, by the way.
Yeah.
So I know we get sometimes people are like, I don't know if this is live. No, this is totally live. So we're actually going to be bringing in.
I mean, the one dude told a joke about his colon earlier.
I'm just kidding. Rod is actually.
I'm actually going to go and annoy you from the side.
I know. It's the worst. Rod's going to jump over here. We're actually going to bring back in Chris and Ryan from the Immortal team. Who will be jumping in here.
I think you're supposed to open that chair. I didn't do my job.
Rod
I didn't do my job.
Rod had one job and failed to do it.
I failed to open the chair.
So we're going to bring these guys in. I know we have questions queued up from different people in Twitch chat. So if you guys have questions, of course, feel free to drop in questions and
This is
everything.
not quite in. You need to switch.
Oh wait, they made him open it.
Because I think
I think we scooch a little bit more.
Live
Okay.
television.
We're scooching live.
And we're scooching, live scooching. ladies and
So
gentlemen.
here's the problem. We also the
Like all
production
kinds of
team hates
cables
me.
beneath us.
I want to give a shout out to our production group behind here, because I literally go like, oh, we're only going to have like 2 people, and then we continue to add people, and then Rod wanted to be in it yesterday. So now suddenly we're up to like 20 people, and this room can't hold this many people. So I apologize. They are angels, and they deal with me. But we do have some questions, and I will be kind of going back and forth in between both of them. But we do. Oh, perfect. We do have some questions up here. Someone's also calling me, which is awful at this time. Quick question. Any updates around, this is for D4 specifically, any updates around respecting characters?
Yeah, so right now I think that there's a few different concerns we're hearing from the community. There's the general cost of respecting characters, and then there is at various stages of the game. And then there is the actual experience of respecting a character, particularly when you're deeper into the Paragon system.
Oh yeah.
So it takes a lot of effort. So we have longer-term plans on the user experience side, like on the menu side, things we want to do to improve the flow of allowing players to respect their characters. These are things we're actively investigating. We have designs for things we're looking to add into seasons in the future, but we don't have a date that we're committing to today for that. And in terms of the actual price of that, we're evaluating things on like the gold economy, and we're taking a look at like what players are doing on a regular basis. We're not making any fundamental structural changes today at this time, but we are, because we're satisfied with where things feel like in the 150. One thing we will be adding though is as part of seasons, there is now a new reward that you can collect as you're going through the season journey at the end of each season, called the Scroll of Amnesia. Which, once you collect a Scroll of Amnesia, you can use that one time to basically reset the entirety of a character all in one go for no gold cost at all. So these are gonna be like pretty fun things to bring back with you to the Eternal Realm if you want to use for future playthroughs, or for that character or another character. So we want to make sure that we're like
That's cool.
adding 2 of these as the players progressing through the experience, kind of make that a little bit easier for players to go through.
And that Scroll of Amnesia is everything. It's all your skills,
It's
all your Paragon,
Paragons,
everything
yeah.
goes to 0.
Awesome. For Immortal, we have a question from, I'm reading everyone's names, 8 Miles West. How much will the Blood Knight cost? I know we covered this early on, but if you guys want to reiterate.
The Blood Knight will cost nothing. The Blood Knight is free.
It's free. So if you're a new Immortal player, or you're a existing Immortal player, you can literally jump in, start playing the Blood
cool.
Knight, on day 1, which is on July 13th. So, and of course, you can play through the campaign, and we had mentioned that it has essentially custom VO and everything associated with it.
That's right.
For D4, I should be more prepared with these.
That's usually that's a
usually-
safe statement all the time. Is
We
you
have-
should be more
we have
prepared.
Rod judging me off screen right here, and I'm just like, awesome.
Perfect.
Little side story real quick. So we have a thing in design called design armor, where like as you're about to like talk about an idea with someone, you're like, this might be a really bad idea, but and that's you putting up your shield saying, this is my design armor. Saying, I know that this might be really, really bad, but we're talking about it anyway. So yes, I should probably be more prepared, but here we go. That's your design armor.
Question from Fig Lorna.
You committed to saying the names.
I know I did.
We don't want anyone to suggest that these are not real questions.
Yeah, from Fig Lorna.
Yeah, they had that. They had that last time.
The Eternal Realm after the season ends. I think that's something we didn't actually clarify really well.
That is a great question.
They were like, the questions are canned, and it's like, nah, they're just
awesome. I really
picked.
Keep it around forever.
Not at random.
No, like initially, the version of the melee mechanics that you're seeing are not planned to show up in the Eternal Realm. However, we are reserving.
If they were picked at random, they'd be a lot of deflection going on.
This is just fantastic.
Yeah.
This should just be part of the game.
And that's not fun.
We will just make it part of the game. So it is absolutely an option. Some mechanics you might see in future seasons might be that way right away. We might be planning that, hey, this will show up in Eternal Realm right away. Others will evaluate them as we play them and then see if this is working really well. This is something that we want to integrate with the Eternal version of the game.
Yeah, I want to stay on this just 1 second longer. That's not to suggest that we're not going to be, as part of the seasons, intentionally using those update opportunities to create content for the base game, like stuff that will persist beyond the end of the season. But we really do want to hone in on the idea that we're like, Malignant Hearts are very powerful, as we talked about before. They're really, really cool. They're very exciting. We can't add something exciting like that every season if it's expected to all last, because the game's going to be a complete mess.
Right.
So we're not going to do that.
It's going to look like Kingdom Hearts 4.
Do is all of those things would be extremely incremental.
That game is a complete mess.
Players over the course of time. And it would make the game extraordinarily dense.
I thought it was good, but they added too many
We
systems.
know that there's opportunities to extend things like add more endgame features. We know
Wait,
that
in
there's
Kingdom
more
Hearts
content we want
3?
to add to the game in general.
4.
Everybody's going to need
Which one's
forever, and we're
4?
going to be looking at those opportunities as we go.
It came out a little bit ago.
Malignant Hearts.
A couple years.
Something of that size in season 1, then add something of similar size in season 2, and then season 3 and season 4, because the game's going to get very
Yeah, let me make sure it was 4.
dense and difficult for players to really navigate.
No, there's a
One, they wanna
4th.
Take these things away, introduce new ideas, but having known what worked really, really well with Malignant Hearts and what stuff we could maybe have improved upon.
Oh no, it was Kingdom Hearts 3 that I got, and it is just a fucking hot mess. This systems.
It's there for the season. So even let's take a player that, let's say, doesn't like to play alts except of the same class.
Yeah,
I just
Kingdom
love
Hearts
playing
4 is
Barbarian,
in
and,
fucking
you know, I
is in
played
the works.
I have
but
3
that's
different
what's not-
barbarians
that's not
already on
supposed to
Eternal
come
because
till
it's your
next year.
perfect class.
Player.
Yeah, no.
Players rogues.
Yeah,
All you
Kingdom
do is
Hearts
build
3 was
rogues.
just a
So
massive
there might be a
disappointment.
lot of those too.
Absolute fucking garbage fire of a game. Played through the whole thing, and I fucking hated it.
Well, like my big problem with 3 was just like, oh, you have basically what feels like every limit break system that they've ever come up with just shoved into this game, and it's like I didn't even play it. JJ played it, and she played through the first couple levels, and I couldn't. Like there was just so much shit going on all the time. It looked like a slot machine.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
like,
You know, different
there's-
keyblades you use have different abilities. So you
No,
have
it wasn't even just different keyblades. It was like she could use the limit break from the keyblade, and then there were attractions and summons and
yeah,
just like
there was
all
a
of this
lot.
shit. And like it wasn't even that they paced it out well. Because it was just like everything was all like she could use everything almost immediately. So like every time she'd enter any level, and by level I mean like any waygate to waygate, she was like, I'm gonna use an attraction and a limit break, and then I'm gonna summon this guy, and then I'm gonna attraction again.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
was-
like
that was
she
the
went
whole
through the whole fucking thing without actually swinging the keyblade.
Well, you got to understand that at that point you're playing as Sora at his most powerful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got that.
It's-
I got that.
You're playing hero version at that point. If she had played the first one, a much different problem.
Yeah, no, the first game is much better, and the second game is really good, but 3 is just like
My only
it's just a
issue
hot
with
mess.
3 I mean, yeah, there was a lot of shit to do all the fucking time, and that shit did get distracting really badly. But my only issue with 3 was the story. They made so many games across so many different systems across so many different years that even when they released 1.5 and 2.5, it didn't matter because some of those things were just text games. So unless you wanted to read the script of an entire fucking game, you didn't play that. But that meant
Right.
going into 3, you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea what was going on because the last game I played was 2, and Chain of Memories, maybe one or two of the.
Between 1 and 2. Chain of
I-
Memories.
yeah,
is between
probably.
1 and 2.
I played a DS game and a PSP game, I think. But like, yeah,
If you played a DS game, it was 358 Days Over 2, which was explaining Roxas's side.
yeah, I have no idea. This is the most convoluted game ever. Anyway,
Like the whole story was the worst. If they had stuck to one system, would have been perfect. It would have been a perfect game. Perfect
right? Well, no,
storyline,
even
everything would have been
doing
fine.
spin-off games on another console is fine as long as you make them the same genre.
Well, like if that's the case, you have to provide people that don't have those consoles a way to like catch up in a fashion that will make fucking sense. That's not just them.
You know what they
reading
should have
the
done? You know what
script.
they should have done? They should have produced manga for it.
They have
Have the whole thing?
for the story of Kingdom Hearts. Yes, it was very
Okay.
popular over in Japan.
Anyway,
That's not why they made it in America, but like it was very popular over there.
yeah. Anyway, let's get back into this Diablo live
It's totally
stream.
available. It's just I don't want to read a script.
Now that we've totally and completely gotten off the rails.
Yeah, we have.
All right, back.
Sorry.
Back
for the
to Diablo
person that's
stuff.
Just
Hatred
sitting in
Heritage
chat
will
listening to
be
us bitch about other
available for the
games.
Blood Knight.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So going forward, there will be now new cosmetics available for the Blood Knight, just as they are for all the other classes in Immortal. And then I guess for D4, will cosmetics be transferring?
Yeah.
Is there a way for me to rewind this?
Will they need to be reobtained? I know this was like a question that we get a lot from people in regards to
whatever.
and if you salvage specific stuff, how does that work between characters from Eternal and Seasonal Realms?
Yeah, I believe this is all transferring over with you when you go into the new season. And obviously, every cosmetic set that you're purchasing via the store and via the Battle Pass, that stuff also is going to be carrying over with you.
Yes, if you ever unlock anything, your whole account has access to it forever, is the current functionality.
Nice.
I shouldn't say it that way. It sounds like we're going to change it.
Yeah,
That
don't
is
use the
the
word forever,
functionality.
ever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nightmare. This is from Kincho Kimo. This is Nightmare teleport was great, but why can't we just teleport right into dungeons rather than just to the entrance? So this one I think is interesting because Nightmare, we obviously incorporated the teleport here in 103. It was another thing that we had talked about where it was community feedback that we had gotten, and the team jumped on it really quickly to implement it in a specific way. We have been seeing a lot of feedback in regards to players having to teleport outside of dungeons and kind of go through like a couple load screens. It was a quick, implementation from the team. And
I figured.
So I know it's something that we've been hearing.
Me and Devil were talking about that.
And it's something that we're going to be looking at more here in the future for optimizing and making sure that we can implement it maybe in a better way.
About his 3 loading screens.
Yeah. Really quickly. On Immortal, we have. Was there some sort of Castlevania inspiration with the Blood Knight? Looking very similar to some popular characters from that franchise.
Nope,
very
this
pretty
one's fresh.
vampire-ish people, but not vampires.
I think we discovered Adam's kink, by the way.
We can turn off Rod's mic now, so that's all we need to do. But yeah, was there any inspiration kind of thrown with the Blood Knight?
I think, when you're working with a tropic idea in fantasy like vampires, you take inspiration from all over. The spear thing puts us in mind of Vlad the Impaler. The aesthetic, you've already talked about some potential references, but I think for us is as much like what we take out as what we leave in. We don't want the Blood Knight to feel like a grab bag of all vampiricness. They're very specifically grotesque, blood, shadow, knightly weapons oriented. And so there were things like turning into mist, like turning into wolves, etc., that we immediately said, hey, these need to be off the table. And so in that regard, I think there's a lot of familiar that we're channeling, but there's also like a very dialed in identity for the class.
So they don't want it to be a vampire.
Everybody knows that
It's not a real vampire.
It's like off-brand.
It's like a Diablo vampire.
We have. Will you guys be nerfing or buffing in the middle of seasons, or will you be making changes after the season starts?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So,
this is from Godic, by the way. So there you go.
Okay,
I just wanted
this
to.
is a real person. Yes, this is a good question. So we made a number of adjustments during the preseason period to make sure that we're bringing some builds back into where we expect them to be functionally and performance-wise. When we go into the seasonal release, we do want to create structured moments in time that we're going to be talking about, I think, more in future streams when we expect like buffs and nerfs to happen. So we have like a regular set of like patches are going to be occurring after the season is released, where we have like a better schedule like in cadence when we're talking about these things. We really want to try to reserve like big nerfs and big buffs for only like extreme outlier cases and things were like really damaging the end game experience for a number of players. So we want to try to keep that more constrained, and we also want to have just fewer general like off cycle balance updates and things. So we're kind of keeping things more into this weekly cadence like we talked about.
Yeah, things will be pretty stable throughout the course of the season, unless, if one of the malignant powers, I know I joked about them being broken, but if the zone lights on fire when you use a malignant power, we're going to patch that. But otherwise, we're going to try and keep things stable.
The zone lights on fire.
Because we were planning on this stream.
Yeah, we'll patch that.
And we were 1 minute away. So I'm going to lightning off a few questions. A big question within chat is obviously about stash space, which is something that we kind of just talked about a little bit earlier.
I'll say real quickly though, like we definitely hear everybody about this. We are talking a lot about what we need to do with this. We've got good plans of things we can do to improve the situation. I know it's frustrating to hear me say like, what you were able to do this, like you could be able to do like nightmare dungeons this quickly, but like the reality is like we are moving really quickly on this, and we're gonna be trying to provide more space in the future, figuring out how like we're gonna get that accomplished.
Yeah, and also one thing to note is I know we talked about during campfire chats about how gems and so forth were going to be part of materials in the future. So I know when that hits, like that will obviously free up a lot of stash
there's
space
lots of
for
different ways
users
to kind of
and
like
stuff
slice away at this problem, and that's like an example of what we're trying to do to start trying to mitigate this a bit.
And then Jim, the Q guy, asked how much time between seasons. Still wants to level up his main. So in between seasons, obviously, there is we had talked about seasons lasting 3 months.
It's a minimum of 12 weeks. Sometimes it might be a little longer, but you'll always have at least 12 weeks to complete your season.
Correct.
Yeah, oh, so cool.
You guys will hear
the calendar dates, right? But
so you guys will hear like no matter what within or like once we hit that 3 month period, you'll start to hear news about the next season actually hitting and everything like that. And then this one, I guess for Rod, are there any plans on new classes coming to Diablo 4? We've just heard about the Blood Knight, so they're
we have nothing to announce at this time.
Oh, wow, that was very straight.
Yeah, Rod sitting off camera can answer that perfectly. So yeah, that I think we're gonna wrap it here for today. Obviously, we talked a lot about all the stuff with Diablo Immortal for the Blood Knight coming out on July 13th. We also have for Diablo 4 Season 1, Season of the Malignant, which is going to be the patch will be on July 18th. And then the actual season starts on July 20th. We do actually have 2 blogs, one on DiabloImmortal.com and one on Diablo4.com. They'll be going live either right now or immediately after this live stream. That'll have all the details and information that we just talked about here on the stream. Yeah, lots of stuff coming up here for Diablo.
Patch this afternoon.
Oh, yes, and there's a patch this afternoon. You'll be seeing, I forgot, that's why I have to do it immediately after the stream. I was trying to get out of it, guys. But we will have a patch. We'll have patch notes up on Diablo4.com. We have a patch article that will actually note, and we'll be updating people when that patch does hit. It is a client patch. It will require a download. It will be on all platforms. And yeah, lots of Diablo stuff coming up here in the next few weeks. Really excited. Happy Diablo family.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff coming up. I know we will be rating 2 Diablo content creators immediately after this stream. One on Twitch, which is Barricade, and the other one on YouTube, which is Killswitch. So make sure to tune into those guys. And thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in to the Diablo Developer Update live stream. And from everyone here on the Diablo team, we hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Killing Horde in Wintergrasp.
Thanks, everybody.
I don't know.
Like, I'm just not getting any. Like, I'm supposed to kill 10 Horde players, but like I fucking kill them and it's not giving me credit.
It's weird.
Like, I've been stuck at fucking 9 for the like I finished that Wintergrasp and I ended at 9 instead of 10. I don't know what to fucking do about that.
Maybe you have to get killing blows.
I've been trying.
Anyway,
Thought I got
that's it for the live stream on their end. What did you think, Tyler?
I mean, honestly, it's the next season. I reserve all fucking opinions until that shit actually comes out, because I've been there with developers that say all kinds of things, and then it just doesn't happen. Everything that they showed us is subject to change until release.
I agree.
So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they made a lot of good points. They promised a lot of good stuff. They said they listened to a lot of good feedback, and honestly, I like to believe that they will.
What do you think about the Blood Knight?
I think it's funny that they had to define that it's not a vampire. So don't call it a vampire.
Don't call it a vampire. Vampire light.
Yeah. They made Natty light in Diablo 4.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna hop off of here for like 15 minutes off the stream. And do some things, 15, 30 minutes. And then I'll be back to stream some Diablers.